Former Chargers quarterback Phillip Rivers. We knew a couple months ago that Phillip was going to leave the Chargers because the Chargers pretty much like released it that they were going to re-sign him. Kind of signing like it seemed like the Patriots and the Chargers both knew that they weren't going to get their respective quarterbacks back, but for some reason the Patriots just let that one hold out. Probably as they were holding out hope for it, but Chargers, they just didn't want Phillip back anymore, and Phillip Rivers decided to sign with the Indianapolis Colts
after they lost Andrew Luck.
After Andrew Luck went, Rivers signed a 1-year, $25 million deal. I don't believe all of that's guaranteed like the Brady deal is, but Rivers to the Colts. Rivers really wasn't that great last season. Definitely a big drop-off, I thought. I personally thought he wasn't like amazing. Just his throws were really off. He was super inconsistent. He'd have games that were, more interceptions than touchdowns. You see the drop off from 2018 to 2019. In 2018, he had a 105.5 quarterback rating, which is very good.
Mm-hmm. His
average for his career is a 95.1, so that was a really good step up. And he had 32 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, which is a great ratio, and a 68.3% completion percentage with 4,308 yards. Now, he had a step up in yardage, but the yardage really is just based off of attempts and just forcing down the field, because that's what Phillip was pretty much doing all of last season. Kind of like Winston. Winston was the league leader in yardage, I believe, and he was horrible last year. He threw like 30 picks and 30 touchdowns, but that's just because they threw him like 50 times a game because they couldn't run the ball that much last year, even with Ronald Jones, who had on and off games, but they couldn't run the ball at all for like a decent value to get down the field. And, Rivers, he had a running game. Melvin held out, though, and stuff like that. And then in 2019, it was just a complete fall off. He went from a 105 passer rating to an 88.5, which is not good. It's average, but it's not good. Then he had 23 touchdowns to 20 interceptions on that ratio. The interceptions has really been him really bad. And he had 300 more yards, and his completion percentage dropped down by 2%. Which isn't a huge drop off, but at the same time, look at his passes that he was trying to make downfield and like the crucial passes he'd try to make in a game that he would try to get back into a game with. He couldn't complete those. He couldn't make any of the big plays downfield like he used to, and his accuracy just really fell off. I don't know what was the cause of that, because he had a great offense going in and a great defense, and the Chargers were projected to be one of the good teams, especially after having a decent run last year, and he just completely fell off. But which makes it kind of confusing for me why the Colts signed Phillip. I know that Phillip, obviously, he's proven, but he's 38. He had a big drop-off season. You have Jacoby Brissett in your back pocket, who before getting injured had a good season. Mm-hmm. And he was like seriously being considered as one of the top quarterbacks in the league at that point.
Yeah.
And like he was leading the Colts to wins. They were doing good without Andrew. And then Jacoby gets injured and he comes back and he's just not really the same type of guy, but still like he's still healing from that injury. Phillip's been healthy this whole entire time last season, and he did not do good at all. So I don't really know why you would take Phillip in and bench Jacoby for just a little bit. It just doesn't make sense at all.